South Wales police have come under fire for using facial recognition software at a Beyoncé concert. Officers say the cameras were used to scan for paedophiles and terrorists, which is the protocol at large events since the Manchester Arena bombing in 2017.
Well, the human rights group Liberty argues the technology doesn't make people safer. Well, joining us now is former head of the Met's Police's forensic imaging team, Mike Neville. He thinks the cameras are vital for public safety. We're also joined by human rights lawyer Shoaib Khan, who thinks the technology is a breach of our privacy. Let's start with you, if we can. Shoaib, there's nothing sinister here. It's just cameras. It keeps people safe and it stops crime.
Yes, hi. Well, I mean, I think the very first sentence you said, there's nothing sinister. I think that's exactly what it is. That's exactly the word. Obviously, I mean, you know, security advocates or people who think that it's there to keep us safe rely on the fact that, OK, at least we'll be able to, you know, find out if someone's there who shouldn't be there. But the point is there are going to be many, many more people, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands who should be there, are permitted to be there. And the main thing is should be allowed to go about their daily lives without government intrusion, without the privacy being interfered with, and, you know, just being allowed to do what they want to do, especially a concert, you know, sports and so on. They're there to relax. They're there to have fun. They're there with family and friends. They're there singing and dancing. The government should not be spying on us when that's what we're out doing.
Mike Neville, the government should not be spying on us. Put your case. Why do you think this technology is important?
Well, let me come to a halfway house. When it comes to using facial recognition in the streets, there are rightly some concerns, as David has highlighted, that, you know, if I want to meet my boyfriend, that's my business. And it'd have to be a really high-level thing for it to be deployed on the street, say a terrorist attack or child molester. With concerts, you're paying to go there. With a football match, you're paying to go there. So the venue can set the rules and say, look, if you want to come in here, you have to come through this doorway where you facial recognition. And people will know about Martin's Law because the recent law about terrorism, because of the attack on the Manchester Arena. Where the real failings with the police are with this, we've got all this facial recognition technology. We have human super recognizer and the like, and the police are identifying about 10% of the people actually captured on CCTV committing a crime. That's the real scandal, that facial recognition technology is used at these high-profile events where people, as the lawyer has said, are going to enjoy themselves, and I agree with that for safety. But it's not being used effectively to identify people who are caught in somebody's house, burgling it or robbing somebody on the street. And so we could use much more effective use of this in a better way.
Shoaib, isn't Mike right? There is a massive difference between going to, say, a concert venue or a football stadium where you've bought a ticket, you expect to be safe, you sign up to the terms and conditions of that venue. Isn't there a very big difference between that and then also having cameras on the streets?
Firstly, I mean, I don't think there is a huge difference. Obviously, like we were saying, you know, you're meeting someone who perhaps you don't want others to know about. There's all sorts of legitimate reasons you would be doing that. And why is that less true of a sports event or a concert? You know, there's young people there. They might not want to be seen out with the people they're with. They might not want their family, friends, others to know where they are, what they're up to. And if it's a perfectly legitimate thing you're doing, you just don't want other people to know, then I think that's perfectly fine. But secondly, even in terms of, I mean, I just don't see the huge difference between whether you bought a ticket or not. I mean, what does that matter? Obviously, if we're talking about, you know, some particularly official places, you know, someone's going into Parliament, someone's going to, I don't know, a police station, airports, courts, or something like that, then of course we say, you know, we're there for official business. We're not really going to be letting our hair down. We're not really going to be singing, dancing, enjoying ourselves. We're not there for relaxation. So fine, it's a business event, really. We're there for, you know, hopefully a short time. And then that's fine if we say that, and we know once we're out, we can enjoy the rest of our lives. But events are actually there for enjoyment, and then for you to know, and in fact, it's even worse when you don't know, but for you to know that I'm constantly being spied and someone is there and they will keep these images, you know, whether it's 7 days, a month, 2 months, and they will have these images stored in a government database somewhere where I was, who I was with. I think that's completely wrong.
But Shoaib, isn't it about being able to go to these places and feel more comfortable in order to enjoy yourselves? Because you know there is a greater degree of protection. Young girls, for example, going into a Beyoncé concert or an Ariana Grande concert, would you not feel more confident if you know that paedophiles are being identified?
I mean, to be honest, I think that's just a matter of, how far do you go then? Are you really, I mean, what other examinations are we going to start having just to let people into a concert? That's the point. We have CCTV already. Presumably when people book or buy a ticket, we have some payment details. We have some idea of who they are, how they've signed up, when they're coming in. If we want to check at the door, we usually check in for unauthorized, people not bringing in things that they shouldn't be bringing in. So it just depends on how far you're going to go just to allow people to be there at a concert. And that's exactly the point. I'm not suggesting there should be no security ever anywhere. But the point is, and secondly, yes, for so many years, decades, we have managed without that. The point is, eventually, and that's exactly the point, that now we're here saying, at least at really large venues where there's lots of people, eventually it comes down to, let's just make it commonplace, as happened with CCTV, as has happened with, so much other technology. That's the thing. Where is it going to end up? Eventually, we will have, literally people there, camera doorbells, other things. Everything is just facial recognition. And that's the problem.
Mike Neville, Shoaib Khan, thank you very much indeed.